Dude, when it comes to the crown jewels of my raid account, you might think that I go ahead and point to the likes of Lazarius, or Odin Fairfather, or Archer Queen, the absolute champs that just define this account in terms of champion rarity and power level and all of those things. What you might not expect me to point a finger at are going to be the likes of what? Thalesia? What the hell are you talking about, man? Armager? No way are we still using Armager on this account. We're like almost 1 year in. Well, we are, and we're using Armager in some of the most difficult content in this game. So this video is going to be an ode to all of those mega budget champions on my account that I still use almost 1 year in genuinely some of the hardest content in the game that I currently have access to. Even High Cartoon is going to be part of this video, and here's how. Now, before we get to that, speaking of free and extremely easy to get champions, did you know that you can get Corrado Fox Hunter, a legendary champ, completely for free right now simply by creating a new raid account using my beginner promo link down below the top of the video description box, man. Create a new account using that link, and you're going to get yourself Corrado Fox Hunter as a starter legendary champion, as well as 3 additional epic champs as you level up your account. It's just the best possible way in history, actually, to create a new raid account, man. Not just in 2025, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, make sure to use that beginner link if you're looking to start off a new raid adventure in 2025. But first off, man, Thalesia doubled my HYDRA damage recently, and I just randomly put her into the team. It wasn't even really a planned thing. I was just kind of curious, like, she looks like she has enough defense now that she's been awakened a few times to maybe survive in HYDRA for a bit longer. I wonder how she'd pair up with the Thor. Even her gear is like very, very hodgepodge. She's in like some crit rate gauntlets all up and over here, you know? So, yeah, she's just built a little bit strange. She's built primarily as a debuffer, but with a little bit of crit damage and stuff. And she just doubled my HYDRA damage. Straight up. I don't even know how it works, man. So a hit is kind of strange, but the reason that Thalesia is not so often recommended for use into HYDRA is because, well, first of all, it's questionable if you're going to actually max a Thalesia up on your account or not, but her base defense stats, and her HP in particular, are very, very low. She's very, very squishy. She's just tough to keep alive in HYDRA. And it wasn't until now, and this is something to bear in mind for your own account as well, it wasn't until I got her awakened up and empowered a couple of levels that her defense stats actually kind of got boosted up, and I thought, you know what, why not just give her a try and see what she can do, and the results were sort of unbelievable. So Thalesia's kit, she's got some debuff spread on her A1, her A2 and her A3 though are really where it's at. The A3 is an attack all enemies, place a decreased defense debuff for a couple of turns. Lovely, great if you're using like a big AoE damage dealer, the likes of Thor in your HYDRA teams. And then on the A2, and this is where I think the hidden value of Thalesia comes in, it's an attack all enemies A2, increase the duration of all debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. And so because I have her running quite fast, she's getting off that A2 quite often, and the result is, I don't even know how it works, man, but it seems to do something to the team to make it flow so well, much better than I was possibly anticipating, and somehow it just resulted in the HYDRA damage being doubled. I can't even explain it, but it's just interesting, man, how you can take a champion that before wasn't good enough to use in a certain area of the game, but once you eventually get to a point where you've empowered that champion a couple of times, suddenly they can become unlocked in that area of the game and are worth a second chance. And so for context, this is the HYDRA team that we're going to be looking at. In just the briefest of clips, I'm basically going to skip ahead to the damage here, but we're using High Cartoon in this team alongside the happy little Dune Lord Gregor, just so we have that extra barbarian synergy, and she's just bringing increased speed, and that's it. And this is my brutal difficulty HYDRA team, man. I'm not the most advanced HYDRA player in the world. I'm still really team building and stuff like that, and figuring new things out and leveling new champs that are going to help me out there. But I'm usually dealing like, I don't know, 35 million, maybe 40 million damage or something into brutal HYDRA. I'd say about 40 million on average before I was trying out the Thalesia, who I also just threw into this team. And so this is how the team plays. I'm not really going to show a whole lot of this, but there's the Thalesia's big AoEs coming in right away. And my passive actually getting up early Hex debuff there as well, which I guess I'll also draw attention to after we've checked out the clip. But that's it now. The Thalesia isn't doing the stupid amount of damage. She's built with like pretty good speed and like reasonable damage to be like sort of like a secondary damage dealer. But the way that she enables the Thor to just absolutely detonate the hell out of these Hydra heads. I don't know, dude. It's just super effective. Way more effective than I was thinking, man. So let's go ahead and skip to the final damage count. And there you have it, man. We're approaching the 1,000 turn limit. Haikatoon finally goes down last. 105 mil. 105 mil, boys. So from 40 million, it's actually more than doubled my Hydra damage by just throwing Thalesia into the team. And for whatever reason, it just makes the team work like a well-oiled machine. And she's popping off. I don't know what to tell you. Now, of course, the Thor is doing most of the damage, but the way that the Thalesia is apparently enabling the Thor is just making this team, it's just making this team take off. Now, of course, these are going to be rookie numbers to some endgame players who are out there pushing 1 billion Hydra damage and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm working on it, okay? I've got other areas of the game that I'm trying to push in as well. I'm very, very close to getting Lydia, among other things. But suffice it to say that the Thalesia has surprised me. Once I got her empowered a couple times, it changed everything. Next champ that we have to cover. I mean, dude, we have to touch on the Haikatoon at least. She also made it into that Hydra team. She's a simple increased speed champ, got a decreased speed on the A1, bit of 10 meter control on the A3. I still use my Haikatoon to this day in my Infinity Wixwell clan boss team. An Infinity team that never used to have Androck included in it. By the way, it used to be a Valerie in this other spot, and so basically every champion in the team was free. The Ninja was free as just like a login reward champ. The Wixwell was a fusion champ, and then we had the Valerie in the last spot, and so the most budget possible Wixwell clan boss team you could ever imagine. And we were one key in the crap out of Ultra Nightmare, and this is how the team works, and this is all the Haikatoon is there for, right? Is to give the speed aura and give the increased speed and get everybody running nice and fast so that our shields just never ever expire against the boss. And yeah, it's kind of remarkable that we're still finding use for Haikatoon into Hydra and Demon Lord clan boss this far into the game. And I hear people talk about, oh, yeah, Haikatoon isn't worth it, man. She's a piece of crap. She's this, she's that. For my account, she's been insane in the amount of value that she's provided, given she was a completely free champion. Okay, I'll go ahead and end this run because you guys don't need to sit here and see all this. Next up, we've got the Armager and the Cold Heart, who combine to boost me through the hardest difficulty of Darkfire in Doom Tower. Hard mode, Doom Tower, man. Cold Heart and Armager. What the hell, man? It just doesn't even make any sense, right? First of all, the Cold Heart hair value is obvious. Best rare champion of the game, right? At A3, attacks one enemy, decrease target's 10 meter by 100%, has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a crit, and damage increases according to enemy max HP, making a hit for millions into dungeon bosses. Why did I even say it like that? Like Spider, right? And yeah, quadruple hit on the A1 as well. She's just kind of unbelievable. And of course, good old Cold Heart over here still has a huge role to play in a lot of my dungeon teams. Fire Knight, Spider's Den, definitely not least among them, because of her ability to do that, right? Delete boss 10 meters and smack them like an absolute truck. Even harder when she gets like a Phantom Touch proc. But as for Armager, this little guy right here has done so much work for me on my account, which is crazy because I hear all the time about people saying, oh, I regret building my Armager. I only did it because, you know, some like YouTuber told me to, and I ended up just not using him anywhere. Whereas for me on my account, I had the opposite experience where, yeah, I listened to like a bunch of YouTubers when I was starting out the game, and you know what? I've heard that I should build out an Armager. Why? Well, his A1's great for 10 meter decrease. It's a big old 10 meter decrease as well, spammable on his A1. He was helping me out with progression into Spider's Den for a little while, for Fire Knight for a good while. Also, at one point, I had him equipped in a Destroy set, and I was using him in the most budget Scarab King team you've ever seen in your life. I swear to God, man. Let me go into the Doom Tower here just quick. Okay, man, I still have the team saved in my little team planner. I don't use this team anymore. I did eventually have to replace the Haikatoon with the Thor fusion for some extra 10 meter control to get me through hard Doom Tower. And now I just throw a solo carry champion in against Scarab King, and it's not a thing anymore. But when I was progressing through Doom Tower for the first time, and I finished Doom Tower for the first time, this was the team, and I've left it saved in my team planner just because it's so hilarious to look at, man. A level 40 Elf Guard was part of the team bro. Like, this is crazy as hell. She was only there to spam the crap out of her A2. It's the only thing she was there for, right? It's a 210 cooldown, big old 10 meter decrease against the Scarab. I had Armiger in the destroy set to destroy, like, the boss's shell of health, I guess, you know? And he was just spamming the A1. 10 meter decrease. HYDRA was there for the speed, and because she also brings decreased speed debuff on her A1. The Sill was there just to control the waves, right? To try and like land their stuns and a bit of 10 meter decrease as well and stuff on her A1. And then Metal Shaper, I was running this rare champ as the fastest champion on the team. His speed sucks now because I took all of the gear off of him. I just don't need him anymore. But yeah, and he was running like a 210 cooldown, 210 duration shield buff because you have to stay shielded up at all times against the Scarab King, right? And so this was the team, dude. This was the Omega budget team. And while it's funny, like some of these champions that just don't use anymore, the Elf Guard, the Metal Shaper, like they did their job. They've now been sort of retired to the vault life, you know. The Armiger and the HYDRA I'm still using. And of course the Sill as well. But there it is, man. My Dark Fae team right here. Lazarius, crazy. Just like a stupid amount of work on this team. It's like a big AoE nuker, helps us get through the waves, all of those things. He plays a big part on the team, that's for sure. But then we've got 2 fusion legendaries. And then we've got Cold Heart and Armiger on the Dark Fae team, dude. And this, I use this to farm, again, the hardest difficulty of Dark Fae, man. Little Armiger, man. The little knight that could. Look at that helmet. The man just doesn't give a damn. Great champion, man, in my book. It's impossible to have a video like this talking about more accessible champs that have made a huge splash in the account as well without talking about my campaign farmer in the form of Bellower, but I don't just use him in campaign as well. Of course, Bellower is one of those rare champs. I mean, he's a void rare, so a little bit harder to get your hands on, I guess, but if you do get him, I'd recommend building him in a high damage stun set and then make him your campaign farmer. That way you can use him as a stun set champion in like wave content, secret rooms, that kind of deal. But you can also use him as campaign farmer as well. He's got attack all enemies on all of his skills. And yeah, he's just an amazing champ. I've also got him paired up with the Nature's Bounty blessing as well, which I'd highly recommend on this guy. Basically takes any weak version of debuffs that you place and has a chance at converting them, 30% chance at my current level of awakening to place the greater version of the debuff instead, which is great on Bellower because he brings weak version decreased speed on his A2, weak decreased attack and weak decreased defense debuffs all in his kit. So he's amazing with the Nature's Bounty blessing and has crazy room to grow with that. And like I say, having him built out in a stun set as well, this is like the current stats that I've got and stuff on my Bellower, allows him to be a very efficient, like 8-second campaign farmer. Very nice to have, but also be amazing into wave content as well. And his masteries also factor into this too. I did go into the defense tree and picked up the... I forget the name of this mastery, but it's the one at the bottom of the defense tree. Increase the chances of placing stun, all of the hard crowd control debuffs from skills or artifacts by 5%. So he just has an extra chance with that stun set equipped of actually landing that stun. And naturally, because we've got to show a demonstration, this is the Bellower in action. Isn't it glorious? I tell you what, man, just getting a campaign farmer up and running on my account for the first time, I was like, yeah, it makes things a little bit faster, but do I really need a campaign farmer? I needed a campaign farmer, okay? I didn't realize how good it was having a champ that can do this on your account. I don't know how to tell you. It's just completely trivialized things like champion training events, champion training tournaments and stuff like that. Time is no longer a factor and I can navigate my way through those events so much easier now, either with brews or if I want to do it, you know, the more painstaking way, I have the option of just campaign farming so fast. Long story short, man, do not be underestimating these free champions that you can pick up in Raid, even the champs that don't seem that amazing when you first get them, but then you empower them a few times and suddenly they unlock new levels. One more champion that I gotta cover. No, I don't, because we ain't covering Morrigan in this video. I'm gonna be covering Morrigan kinda soon-ish in a future video, an updated video, talking about some of my biggest champion letdowns on this account. Champions I was excited to build out. I was excited to trial run on the account, right? Good old King Garrog is just looking at me from the wings right now. Champions that I built out on this account that just didn't work out so hot. I think I've built enough champions since I made the last video covering that topic that I can make an updated video hitting that topic as well, man. And some of those picks might surprise you guys. Well, as you can hear in the background, my cat is raging, and I think that she wants some happy little pets. So I'm going to leave this video here. Hey, man, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit like on the video. And most importantly, as my cat is raging behind me, calm down, Luna. If you're looking to set up a new raid account anytime soon, then make sure to do so using my beginner promo link right now at the top of the video description box, man. And Luna is here to tell you that you can also get your hands on 3 additional epic champions as you level up your account as well. She's so mad, dude. Basically, it's the best beginner promo link. Go on. Down you go. Go, girl. And you should use it to start a new raid account in 2025. There you have it, man. Thanks for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.